mercenaries, really, that's the double M. Born baller, baby boy, I be above the rim.
What's good, family? It's your boy Just Blaze, host of the best NBA pod in the game, Above the Rim. Keep it locked each week and join myself and a special guest as we tackle the latest rumblings in the league. If it's happening in the NBA, you know I got you covered. Make sure you subscribe on all platforms and leave that 5-star review. Let's get it.
That's what I'm saying. That's on Bron, man. Bron know
LeBron
where I'm at.
can call.
Bron, you know what time it is, man. That's on you, shorty.
What do you think?
You know what time it is. That's on you, bro. You know who you can call, shorty. Melo, too. It ain't just on Bron. I lied. Melo, that's on you, too, man. If y'all want to hear nothing about y'all defensive issues and leadership, veteran issues and all, I don't want to hear that out of them, too.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, as just from someone who's close to, Bron and Melo, like, and also as a basketball guy, what do you think is wrong with the Lakers this year?
Shit, Shump doing an interview with you right now. That's their issue.
Talk about it.
You are now tuned in to Above the Rim.
Hoops talk for the streets.
Family, what's good? Welcome back to another edition of Above the Rim. Hoops Talk for the Streets. You already know how we do. Brought to you as always. It's your host, Justin, a.k.a. Just Blaze. Family, you know the drill. To get in contact with me, you can always hit me up or follow me on Twitter at JustBlaze_513. IG JustBlaze513. On Facebook, search Above the Rim Podcast. Email the show as well. Above the Rim NBA Podcast at gmail.com. Tap in and leave the family a voicemail. The Talk About It line is open, 908-718-1592. Cop your merch, new colors, new flavors. Appreciate the love as always. Happy New Year to the family too. Much success in 2022. We gonna keep this train rolling together in New Year. Joining me this week, family. First episode of the new year. Had to hit y'all with a double-double. Two special guests familiar with the family, checking in with me from the West Coast, LA through and through, host of BTG for President and the Open Run with BTG Pod, the 8-clap villain, my man Baylor. What's good, family? How you living?
What's the word, man? I ain't been in my penthouse in a long time. Hey, them other two cats, tell them they can't, if they gonna be in there, they gotta pay rent.
They are paying rent. They gotta pay that rent. I feel you.
Yeah, I don't care if they stay out there. I need that bread.
I hear that, man. And also checking in, usually in studio, but we doing it remote this time. Some of my most classic episodes are with this brother, my sparring partner, host of the Gray Area and the Rap Roundtable Pod, league office comrade, Ray Jarvis. What's good, brother? How you living?
What's good? What's good? Just was good. Above the Rim family. It's good to finally be out of the penalty box. Just say had me on in over a year.
Nah, it's not that long. You wildin', son.
We slap boxing today, bro. We got a lot to talk about. I've been waiting to get back on. BTG been waiting. We both been in the penalty box, B. What's good, bro?
I got fined. I don't even know what I got fined.
I don't know what your brothers are talking about, man. They been right here courtside
since the beginning of last season, bro. What's going on, Just?
Yeah, it's been it. You're right. But now we reversing all that. Reverse new year, new things. First episode of the new year. New year. Yes, most definitely. So welcome back, fellas. I might as well say that shit. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And yeah, man. But I do also want to say there's a lot of fellows who come and go in this podcast game, man. So I do want to say I'm appreciative of you two brothers and the fact that we all three of us are here, still going strong. I've been part of y'all for years now, as we've been talking.
Right.
And shout out to you, brothers, and more years to come until we both, or all of us, reach our ultimate destination, fellas. So I appreciate y'all.
I ain't going nowhere. I got a max contract.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, family. So let's start off how we always do with a cop and a dropping. I throw out a hot take. If the fellas agree, they copping. If they disagree, they dropping. I want to talk about conferences this episode before we get into it. Looking at the NBA standings right now, it's kind of starting to be a cluster a little bit. Over a quarter of the way in, some teams have slightly separated themselves right now from the pack. Majority of both of the conferences are kind of mid-tier right now, but it could go either way. If one team goes on a 8-game winning streak, they could go jump up and down 3 or 4 spots on the standings. Any team can lose on any given night. Top of the East, you got the Bulls, Nets, Bucks, and Heat. With the Cavs, 76ers, Hornets, Wizards, Celtics, Knicks, and Raptors all in a little cluster in the East. At the top of the West, you got the Warriors, you got the Suns, you got the Jazz, and you got the Grizzlies. Then you got the Nuggets, Clippers, Lakers, Mavs, and T-Wolves all mixed in the playoffs on the playoff hunt as well. So there might be some action on both sides here, fellas, come playoff time. So, Baylor, I'm going to start with you, brother. Copping or dropping this take. The Eastern Conference playoff race, not the playoff race, excuse me, the Eastern Conference playoffs will be more competitive than the West this year. Copping or dropping?
I'm gonna drop that.
Tell me why.
There's too many storylines in the West. And right now you got a team in Memphis that's hungry. They very disrespectful to my Lakers.
Very.
Then you got resurgence of Golden State. I think Clay is coming back the next game, so that's dangerous.
Yeah, I think this weekend, I believe.
You got the Suns, they are who they are. The Nuggets is lingering around. The West is still dangerous. I'm not knocking the East. But once we get into those 8 versus 1 matchups, it's a little ugly over there as usual.
Oh, I think that's gonna be a sweep them up.
It could be. Wait, because that top 4 in the East. That top 4 in the East is solid, but the West, that West is cracking. I'm not saying that there will be an upset. It'll be a scare. Be a scare somewhere.
Okay, Joe.
And considering what team you feel would be eligible for an upset.
I think a lot of teams are eligible for an upset on both conferences. To me, it looked a little bit like he could get a little bit more competitive than we're normally used to. But let's hear from Joe. Copping or dropping, brother. The Eastern Conference playoff will be more competitive than the West. Talk to me.
I'm going to cop it only because I feel like with the exception of the Brooklyn Nets, once Kyrie starts playing and takes the vaccination, they're the clear-cut favorite. And then after that, you look at the rest of the teams. I was just talking in another group chat earlier today, and I was saying that as hot as the Bulls are, depending on the right or wrong type of matchup in the first round, they could be packed up. You know what I mean? To me, they're still first-round food depending on who they play. Like, this is a cool story, but I'm not buying all the Chicago Bulls stock. You know what I mean? And you know what? 9 times out of 10, when I tell y'all something is a cool story, I'll be right.
I mean, that's why I'm laughing when you say that.
You know what I mean? This is a cool story right now. But I feel like depending on who they play in the first round, it could go either way. Eventually, Philly's going to trade Ben Simmons. They're going to get the right kind of parts around. And that's another thing to look at. Boston seems to be these guys are starting to figure out their roles as far as JT and Jaylen Brown. They need to stay on the floor a little bit longer. They got to find a way to package Marcus Smart. That could change things in the Eastern Conference. There's a lot, I would say, parity in the Eastern Conference. And of course, the big bully is there. The Bucks are there. Giannis looks better. You know what I mean? The team is very cohesive. They did a good job. That pickup of adding Drew Holiday really, to me, fortified that team. So it's like you could never write them off because they experienced it now. So now when they get into tough situations and they're down 3-2 in a Game 6 going on the road, they believe that they can win a Game 6 on the road. So you can't write off the Milwaukee Bucks. But overall, with the exception of the Brooklyn Nets and maybe Milwaukee, everybody else, they could get sent home in the first round. You can't buy any stock of any of these teams right now.
Yeah, you know what? I actually agree with you. I do think, I'm going to cop this for the record. I do think the East will be more competitive. But I agree with both of you, what you guys say. I do think there's more intricate storylines in the West, as in there's more rivalries in the West. Like, there's more personal beefs in the West. Like, there's really players in the West that don't like each other, that really want to beat each other. So it's going to be better games. I always call it the varsity conference over the JV in the East. But in the East, though, there might be some battles, fellas, low key. Like, I know we talked about the Nets. That obviously is the presumed favorite, but I don't know, because the Bucks have proven they already can beat them. I mean, we had some injuries going on, but that happens in any playoff series. Jarv, I like what you said about the Bulls. I mean, I know everybody likes the Bulls right now. I like them too, but I can see a scenario where they might run into some trouble in the first round. You look at the Celtics, JT. I like JT. I want the Celtics to go far, but I'm looking at that's a matchup that could be something. The Wizards, they take them to the wire every time they play them. So the East might have some action, BTG. Why you think it's so easy over there in the East?
Well, what you and Jarvis just said, though, y'all just brought up the Chicago Bulls. Y'all have zero faith in them. So how does that make them more competitive?
I got a little faith.
Well, more competitive as far as the series will be closer. There's no clear-cut favorite. That's why I said parity. I believe that the parity is a lot more live in the East as opposed to the West, where I believe the West is super top-heavy. We're already looking at the second round of the playoffs in the West. But the first round could be like March Madness in the Eastern Conference.
Like, what about the...
So right now, if the playoffs was to start right now, the Bulls will play who?
Bulls will play whoever comes out of the play-in.
The Celtics or the Wizards right now.
Yeah.
So are we taking the Celtics over the Bulls?
I might.
And then the Wizards, that's
I might too.
I might say Chicago is 6 against the Wizards, but I might take Boston over the Bulls flat out.
Wizards no joke though. Wizards low key deep. I mean, they getting Hachimura back soon. They kind of a little bit 9 deep. KCP, I mean, they got all the Laker rejects over there right now, putting in work over there in DC. They might have some action against the Bulls. I mean, the Nets. I mean, I don't think I don't know, because, sometimes the Nets could be a little bit tricky. I love the Nets. I know they're obviously the best team in the East, but they do have some issues that they can run into trouble in a playoff series. So it's going to be interesting with everybody. The Heat, too, and the Bucks.
As Kyrie is healthy, they good.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He just took a vacation. He not even back yet.
A quick ankle though. You see how it went out last year. A quick ankle turn that could happen off anything.
Kyrie ain't fooled me. Kyrie and
KD was gonna get Milwaukee out of there. Kyrie don't tweak that ankle.
I believe so.
That's a fact.
I believe so too. So
as a matter of fact, the guy over there in Atlanta, if he don't get injured.
Now, that's a little bit disappointing what's going on over there in Atlanta, because they supposed to be in that race right now. And you see, I didn't even name them. They, 11th in the East right now? 10th or 11th?
In the conversation right now.
Come on. I mean, I don't know who I'm more disappointed in that team, because Trae Young, the numbers still look sexy, but the wins are not there.
But here's the thing, though. This is something that people are not talking about. And I looked at the Knicks as a team that was going to fall victim to the season, and we've seen it so far. A lot of those games last season that teams won on the road, in those empty arena games. If you put fans in those arenas last year, there's a lot of losses by the Knicks. There's a lot of losses by the Hawks. They don't get the positioning they get in the playoffs last season. Now that the league is kind of reverted back to what we know, all of those road victories that they stole last season, they're paying for it right now. These teams weren't that good. Like the Hawks for Eastern Conference Finals good? Ain't no way. I'm not buying that.
Man, well, that says more about the 76ers than it does about the Hawks.
I mean, the Hawks was there not too long ago, though.
You mean with the 4 All-Stars? When they had that?
Yeah.
Come on.
Did you believe in them? Baylor, you ain't believe in them, fellas.
I don't dare.
Yo, Korver was an All-Star, wasn't he?
Kyle
Kyle Korver or Jeff Teague or some shit was an All-Star that year.
Al Horford and who else? There was another dude over there.
Millsap. Well, Horford, Millsap, Torian Prince. I think was on that team. One team though that I will say in the East, fellas, that I have zero faith in is the Cleveland Cavaliers right now, sitting in the 5th spot. I like them, but I have zero faith in them. I like the young. It's a cool story, Jarvis, in your words. To me, the Cavs are the cool story of the East. I think if they stay in the playoff race, I think whoever they play got a nice first round win against those Cavs, and that might be the Heat.
They didn't keep winning. Braun might want to come home again. You know what I mean? Keep on winning.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, let's just get into those brothers right now. Let's cut the bullshit and talk about these Lakers, man. This is what I'm talking about. Currently, 7th in the West right now, 500 record right now. A few team numbers that stood out to me looking at them. Bottom 10 offensive rating, but 11th in defensive rating, so that has improved since early in the season. First in pace per game, but 28th in the league in turnovers. Gonna talk about that. LeBron averaging 28, AD averaging 23, Russ averaging 19, Melo giving you 13 off the pine. A roller coaster season, I guess we will call it for the Lakers, and that might be a bit of an understatement with this team. I would say more underachieving, more so for me personally. LeBron told the streets to keep that same energy with the Lakers earlier in the season. So we are definitely going to keep that same energy for the entire Lakers team and LeBron James here on Above the Rim. Jarv, you my guy, so I'm coming to you first, brother. You've been pretty vocal about your distaste for some of the Lakers roster and what's been happening with the Lakers thus far. So answer this question for me so we can dive in. Or finish this statement for me so we can dive in. To you, the Lakers' biggest Achilles heel to this season has been what?
Like, there's so many to choose from, Josh. We might have to use both Achilles for this. But I think the biggest issue, or I'll say 2 issues, it's spacing, right? And the other issue is defense. There's not a want to. When I watch them play, Like they'll have spurts of defensive intensity that Vogel kind of inspires, and we've seen it in years past where they will go on defensive blitzes and make things happen. But I don't think we have the necessary personnel to do that over a sustained period of time. And I talk about spacing. You know who? Mr. Empty Calories himself. Like I was not on board with the decision. I tried to talk myself into it, but in reality, it's not even personal. Like I'm not mad at Westbrook. We'll get into that a little bit later. But when I look at the way that AD was there, the way the ball flowed, it's so difficult for AD to get a catch in the mid post or the low post. Because so many teams are sagging, not creating space, and not creating enough passing lanes for AD to flourish. And then LeBron James is being asked to do too much in year 19. Carmelo Anthony is being asked to do too much. And a lot of times, if you look at the Lakers, especially when they play good teams, how many buckets we get in scramble situations? We're not flowing. We're not running offense. We're not getting clean looks over and over again. And teams are still doing what Phoenix did to us in the playoffs. They're daring us to shoot over their defense because we're not giving you the rim. You know what I mean? I don't think I should be depending on Malik Monk to hit threes like that. Granted, he's supposedly
who's been balling late
point shooter. He has been, but that's not why we brought him here. You know what I mean? We didn't bring Carmelo in to average 13 a game. These are supposed to be supplementary parts. I saw people on the internet talking about Trevor Ariza being a savior. Like this, he didn't bring any of these guys to be. The superstars were supposed to be the superstars. And the parts didn't fit the day they agreed to the trade. The parts don't fit. Spacing isn't there. Yeah, asking LeBron a year 19 to do too much, and it's going to bite us again.
A lot of things said right there. Before we unpack that, BTG, talk to me. The Lakers' biggest Achilles heel, in your opinion, this season has been what?
I feel the same way. It's defense. And I'm not in the huddle, but it's definitely our roles on offense. And but I'm going to give my guys some, I got to give them some, it's an understanding why, though. We have 3 alphas on the team. Technically, we got 4, but one has humbled himself to come off the bench, and I can respect that. But we got 3 alphas, 3 in which at one point in their career, they have all carried a team by themselves.
Yes.
They also have egos.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So as much as I see the slander on timeline against my guy, I can't say nothing about it. It's true. But what I'm not going to stand for is that it all goes on him. Because AD hasn't showed, he didn't even show up in his game weight.
Listen, he looking a little hefty this season. I've been saying for a couple episodes.
Too heavy. How many times have we heard about him complaining about playing a 5? How many times have we yelled at the screen about him facing up instead of posting up? How many times have we seen Bron blow at his hand because we know he's about to shoot that 3-pointer?
Oh, man.
We've seen it.
You know, or hit the chest too on one of those joints.
Yeah. And the thing is, with Russ, we already know what you get. That's strictly energy right there. None of them cats that I just said is playing defense. The best defender out of them 3 is probably AD at the rim. Everybody's going past Bron. We've seen Westbrook lay some cats to the bucket. We've seen that. The yesteryears is gone, bro. We got 2 league MVPs. AD should have had an MVP by now, but he's not playing like it. So the blame goes across all 3 alphas. But I will say this: it doesn't help when you turn the ball over 9 times. Right? It doesn't help. It doesn't help when you take an important shot, not just a shot, but an important shot in the 3rd where we've been giving up leads. Going into the 4th, if we do go into the 4th with a lead, we know we giving that up, or we giving y'all a showtime with 2 minutes left, and we're going to blow that because of a bad shot or a turnover.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm putting that on AD and I'm putting that on Bron because y'all 2 won a championship together. You got to holler at the young killer and like, yo, we got this already.
Wait, who's the young killer? Russ?
As Westbrook. Yeah, you got to holler at him.
Well, who's to say they not hollering at him? Like what about Westbrook's career says he's reasonable?
I get that.
Said that he will listen to that also.
And again, I'm a cat that I will gracefully say, look, I'm not in the huddle, I'm not in the locker room, so I don't know what they saying to him. I can't even when I go to the game, I can't even see them talking to him or whatever. But we all got common sense. We the one that eliminated our boy a couple of years ago in the bubble.
Mm-hmm.
So he already know what it is.
Well,
they won without
They used
him.
the game plan effective against Russell Westbrook to eliminate him, and they chose the same person to bring onto the roster.
We traded for him.
So I'm
not mad. I'm not mad at the trade.
Yeah,
I'm more mad of them not figuring it out because I don't think it can't work, but it's not working right now, which means I don't know if it will work. I don't know if it will.
When we talk about that, right? So you guys both brought up great points on both sides, right? So when I hear both you guys say that, it seems to me, and I think also as well, this has a lot to do with the lack of on-court chemistry, which to me, I think is one of the Achilles heel of the Lakers this season. To me personally, I don't feel like these fellas worked hard enough in the off season or going into the season to get a rhythm for one another, to really like feel out each other's game. I feel like right now they're trying to make up for lost time. And I feel like that's tough to do mid-season and the beginning of the season because these teams are hungry against the Lakers. They playing the Lakers every single night. You're going to get every team's best shot.
Some of these teams already have rosters that's been together for a couple of years now. We got a whole new roster.
True, but the Bulls have a whole new roster too as well. But they put the work in the offseason to learn. Remember, if you remember, you guys played no preseason games with this entire lineup.
Watch this though. Neither one of them is LeBron James and AD. All right, which means they have a role to play. Who? None of them is the Bulls. They have a role. Caruso went over there and played the same role.
I mean, they have a structure though. I mean, all teams should have structure. Why don't the Lakers have a structure?
We didn't even have a structure when we didn't have Westbrook. We didn't figure that out to the playoffs.
Jarvis, talk to me about the on-court chemistry. Have you been seeing a good on-court chemistry from the Lakers as a whole, or do you see there's any resistance or problems there?
No, I don't really see the chemistry because again, it goes back to, and I know want to say he's not to blame for everything. I want to be clear in that. I agree. He's not to blame, but it's like, in the words of Hove, was who he was before he got here. We knew what we were getting when we got Russell Westbrook. Mm-hmm. We knew what his deficiencies were. Your team took us out. You knew exactly what the Lakers' problem was. Mm-hmm. Bringing in Russell Westbrook corrected none of those issues. We
definitely didn't need to bring him in.
We needed spacers. Yeah. We didn't need what Russell Westbrook does best. It's not at all what we needed. When the Lakers were really good 2 seasons ago with AD and Braun, it was a 2-prong system. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We don't need a 3rd prong. We need elite level role players, or as you would say, stars in their role. Yeah. Right? You're asking Russell Westbrook to be something that the Lakers don't need. I'd rather see Russ be Russ elsewhere.
Wait, are they really asking him to do that though? Maybe that's the point. Are they asking him to do that? I don't know.
The point, because the narrative was they brought him in because they knew both of them niggas wasn't durable.
So it was to give help though. Remember, it was to give LeBron some extra added help. I feel.
I hear you.
That's what I'm talking about. If one of the two goes down, they figure Westbrook fill in the gap and try to keep it afloat. But it's not working out.
That don't work when it comes to playing 5-man basketball when everyone is healthy. And LeBron is the biggest con artist on earth talking about he wants to take a step back. Everybody knows the ball is going to be in your hand, bro. So by bringing in Russell Westbrook, you're asking him to do things that he's not capable of doing, like stand in the corner and shoot threes. Russ don't cut off the ball like he used to in young days at OKC. Them legs ain't what they used to. Russ mid-range shot. Russ don't play off the catch. He don't come off curls and catch and shoot. He doesn't do any of these things that frees up the offense and then creates a vessel to Anthony Davis. He does none of these things. So again, it's like, it's not Russ's fault that he's not these things. He should have never been brought in the first place. When you had a chance to go get Buddy, a guy who could space the floor, could put the ball on the floor, do everything that I just talked about as far as playing off the catch, you go get that deal done because it makes sense for your superstars. But Kyle Lowry was available, go get him. DeMar DeRozan was available, go get him. You could still get the skill vets that you wanted that you eventually brought in anyway, but it would have made more sense to roster construction, which is not being spoken about. We talk about chemistry and roster construction still matters. You look at all the good teams in the league, the parts fit. Our parts don't fit.
Yeah, so the main peg in that part that doesn't fit obviously is Russell Westbrook, because he's such a piece that he's not a piece that you can just plug in anywhere. I feel like everyone knows that, but I feel like the Lakers knew that too. And to me, I think maybe I wouldn't say an issue yet because I still feel like it's kind of early to say it's a major issue because I still feel like they could turn it around. But I feel like the Lakers are trying to adjust to Russ rather than Russ trying to adjust to the Lakers. And because of that, I feel like obviously he's been taking a lot of heat for that. I feel like he's been taking the most heat for the way the Lakers season has gone. But some may say it's necessary. Some may say it's unnecessary blame. If you look at the numbers, they're still typical Russ type of numbers. I mean, even still slightly down is 19-8-8, no triple-double. Thank God he don't have a triple-double. Some people could be saying that shit. But 19-8-8 is typical, Russell Westbrook type numbers. But the turnovers. Now, let's talk about that. Turnovers are out of control. But I feel like that's nothing new for Russ. I mean, he's averaged at least 4 turnovers. For 8 straight seasons, he's averaged at least 4 turnovers in a season. Second in the league in turnovers behind Harden this season. 9 turnovers last night is Baylor brought up, a 7 in the first half, which was, it is an ugly 7 turnovers. Some of the turnovers are just like, I'm not even a Laker guy and I'm watching, I'm like, damn, what are you,
Doesn't give me any ammo. It
kills me. I'm a point guard guy, and these turnovers, like, they make my blood boil. And Twitter has been on his bumper about these turnovers, about these missed shots, about these missed layups that he's been having all season. So, Baylor, I know Russ is your guy, but do you feel like he's getting too much blame out of this, or what do you feel like he needs to or can improve on? Because he's gonna have to change up something.
Oh, that's the cool part about it is all the criticism is right. It's correct. Off GP. Wow. But the thing is like, no. So I'm not a Chicago fan. I'm not about to okay. I'm not about to do that. But the thing is, no, it's right. You're totally right. At the same time, I can honestly say this. I'm optimistic because my theory is I think Bron is trying to win Hall of Fame rings.
Trying to win what?
That's my theory. He's trying to win other Hall of Famer rings. That's going to be attached to his legacy. You know what I mean? He's still in some people's eyes still chasing that other guy. So in return,
but but you're saying that as in LeBron James can carry those guys to those rings. I don't feel like he's still capable of. He can't carry a team to a ring, in my opinion. To me, you still need a team around LeBron James, as we've been seeing. He can still put up 30, 15, and 15, still get those LeBron stats, and the Lakers can still lose.
I get that. The only thing that I wanted Buddy Hield as well, right? That was number 1 on my list. Besides DeMar, he was definitely on the list as well. Now I can say they honestly dropped the ball on that. So that's 2 drops, and then letting go Caruso. That was a huge loss.
He would have helped out with Westbrook if they would have.
Yeah, that's chemistry. That's definitely chemistry right there with Caruso. But we dropped the ball on that one. But that spilled milk, I'm over that. Now we got the new roster. We have to fix some things. It's just, I know Russ let's just say this. Russ is a huge part of
the future?
Anthony Davis. No, what I'm saying, he's a huge part of the blame, right? But you also got AD, who when he was in a jersey, wasn't playing as good. Then you got, again, Bron didn't start playing good until he actually came back. He missed 12 games. So that goes in the conversation of chemistry as well. We ain't even played together. We haven't even played together. No, Trev is not the answer. No, is he a familiar face in LA? Absolutely. But he's not going to be the savior, but we need all we can get right now.
Yeah.
We need everything. So we don't have a rim protector.
Well, first of all, you have 2 centers on the roster. I don't know why either of them is not protecting the rim, but
you know why DJ not playing.
Sorry.
I mean, he's washed. I mean, he's been washed. I don't know what the Lakers saw in him. The Nets released him for a reason, but
and the reason why we're not playing Dwight is because we got to play Bron at the 5.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't have to, but Jarv, talk to me about the roster construction. About before we move on from Russ, is there anything that you guys can do? Well, I want to talk about roster adjustments later on, but as far as blame goes with Russ, is there anything that he himself needs to adjust in his game and his lineup in order for the Lakers to prosper right now, to turn this ship around?
needs to adjust his flight itinerary and baggage. Needs to go.
Why do you think he's
It's
gonna
that
get dressed?
simple.
Not happening.
Bro, I believe it in my heart that Russell Westbrook won't finish the season as a Laker, bro.
Who
Can't
would
tell me
take
different.
him?
Somebody will. Obscurity USA, Detroit or Sacramento. Pick up the
Hey,
phone,
but-
baby.
Hey, but Jarvis, I gotta say this: Are you a New York Giants fan?
Of course.
You a Mets fan?
Of course.
Don't bring that energy over here, bro.
Nah, pack them up.
But no, we don't bring. We don't do that type of energy over here.
Nah,
We don't do.
see,
Well, as a Lakers fan, we figure it out, and
But
we
Baylor,
don't help.
see,
We don't help the ops out either.
But Baylor,
You got-
Baylor, listen to me. Listen to me, brother. This is the thing. If this were the Lakers Incorporated, I stand next to you on that point. But this is Clutch Mafia. They operate by a different set of rules.
I got you.
And when things don't work out, to me, I think I might have said it to you, but I've said it on other platforms. When I looked at this roster, this is the 2018 Cavaliers. You brought in a bunch of was that the Expendables? You brought in a bunch of Expendables.
What
And
was
then
that?
by
The Jay
midseason-
Crowder IT roster? That was that roster?
Yeah. D-Wade was on that team too. And by midseason,
Yeah.
I think D-Rose was on that team
Yes.
too.
Yes.
And by midseason, they were all gone.
Yes.
So when I looked at this roster, Clutch Mafia moves in a certain kind of way where if it don't work, we don't wait till next year. Braun is on limited time. A lot of these guys, including Russell Westbrook, are not safe. The rumors already started about 2-3 weeks ago about them having internal discussions about Russell and potentially trading him. They've already planted the stories. It's out there.
I know.
I'm just waiting for the trade.
That narrative is being set. I saw that. I was like, wow, who sprinkled that little tea leaf in? Like, who threw that out there? That was not by accident, by the way.
Is in a loop, bro. He does the same things continuously. This is what he does.
I'm not gonna
I'm just
lie.
waiting.
I'll be sad though. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be sad if they actually go through and trade Russ mid-season. I'll be like, damn, son, you couldn't even give a Hall of Fame caliber player a full season to get it
I'm
together.
cracking
Come
a
on,
bottle
son.
of that. Migos, pour up, salud, be going.
Clutch Mafia, son. Wow. Fellas, let's move on and talk about AD a little bit, man. Because AD also, yo, BG, if y'all can see BGD's face right now, the 8-clap villain right now, he's silent, man.
I haven't been doing it all season. I just let cats talk.
I know, Baylor been quiet. I'm not gonna lie.
Hey, because one thing that I noticed is that when we win, ain't nobody knocking on my door. No, nobody.
Okay.
Not even the cats that I'm rocking with. I don't
Hey,
do
listen,
nothing.
Energy
I've been
gotta be
quiet
kept.
all season. We don't lose. Y'all ain't been here for me for a reason.
Jar, you can't help the ops out online. It's getting out of control.
Pack them up, bro. Send them to obscurity. That's the
Oh,
goal.
man. The energy gotta
Detroit
be
or
kept.
Sacramento.
Oh,
Send them somewhere.
Detroit. Oh man, man, he's rolling over in his grave if you go to Detroit. Damn. AD. Let's talk about AD. He's been also receiving a lot of blame for the way this season has gone out right now with the MCL sprain. He averaged 23-9 this season. AD, I would say some people are calling it a regression in his game this season. I don't know if I'm ready to go there that far. Maybe a regression of his role, even though he's supposed to have the number one role on this particular roster. John, talk to me of what you've been seeing about AD, what you've been seeing of AD this season and how he's looked in your eyes. Because I feel like AD has been looked at in differently in everyone's eyes. So talk to me what you've seen from AD this season.
I mean, well, you know, he's supposed to be the number one option. And LeBron
Supposedly.
James, the greatest con in NBA history, lied to us. He said what he needed to say to gas us up. Well, we knew the vibes. As long as LeBron's on the team, he's the man. But my issue with AD, and I think a lot of Laker Nation's issues with AD is when we watch him play. He wears the Kobe's, right? But it's not scrappy. He doesn't fight. Even I talked about post-entry passes earlier in the pod, but I don't see him fighting for position hard either. Sometimes the passing lane isn't there, but there's times if he throw a little forearm and really jostle and fight, you know, impose yourself upon the game, which he hasn't done since game 2 of the NBA Finals, things would be a little bit different for AD. But AD, for some reason, I would say, like, I don't know if it's because of whatever conversations he's had with Braun behind the scenes or whatever the case, but this man, he's like, the motor is missing. And it's like, we say in New York, you look funny in the light. that lack of motor and wearing that Laker jersey, especially coming off a championship, especially when you're considered at one point one of the best bigs, if not the best big in the game.
He said he got nothing to prove.
I mean, that kind of talk right there is real suspect. You won a championship, but you won a championship as the co-star. LeBron was trying to give you number 23, and you're sitting here loafing. You're not having these powerful off seasons. Last 2 years, you've come in overweight. When the whole hood thought you was coming in the best shape of your life, we can still see the little belly print in your jersey. It's like you went to LA and you decided to go on vacation. I got my one ring and I'm not scrapping. I'm not fighting. I'm going to be $190 whatever million rim runner. We didn't bring you here to be a rim runner, bro. We brought you here to be an all-world big man in conversations with Giannis. Notice the Giannis comparisons have stopped. Because he stopped.
Yes.
AD's looking funny in the light.
Yes, I agree. Bella, talk to me what you've seen from AD this season. Does he look like he's regressed this season? Some people calling him washed already at 28. We had Cat on national TV. Low-key ate his dinner that game on national TV.
All right, yeah. Let's get Cat out the way, bro. Hey, check this out.
Cat went up his chest, low-key.
Come on, man. Like,
I didn't like that post-up. I didn't like what I saw, man. I was very disappointed.
Man, Cat said be barking, then running back up on the steps and stuff like that. Oh, come on, don't do that. No, but AD definitely out of weight. I don't think he could play with those pounds on him. You know what I mean? And I think it's also a mental thing too. Like, yo, I know we say it a lot, and maybe people don't really dig into it, but playing under those Lakers spotlights is heavy. It's heavy criticism.
But still, I'm used to it.
Yeah, but you got to figure you just said it though. He won a championship as a co-star. So that means that's a lot less pressure when you got Bron backing you up. You know, because everybody said that when Bron leaves, then all right, the keys is going to AD. But you got to show us right now that you're worthy of handling those keys, right? And he coming in out of shape. Obviously, he doesn't like playing the 5. It's just not there. And I think it's also a mental aspect. He might be comfortable with one ring, but yeah, I mean, I'm not too shy to say that some of these superstars, they a little insecure in a way.
I agree.
Could be. I don't know.
I agree with the mental aspect of what you guys are saying. I agree there because it's definitely not the skill that AD lacks. It's definitely some piece of a hunger bone or something that he's lacking, and maybe he's just not alpha enough, fellas, to be the number one option. Because when you playing with LeBron, you playing with Melo, you playing with Russ, Rondo was over there. Playing with Dwight, who he won the top 75 over him. So, there could be a little something there too. That's going on in practice. There's a lot of names on the LA Lakers. So, they may say it to him, maybe to the media, like you said, y'all blowing smoke. But I'm wondering what they're saying to him in practice. I feel like they got to be saying to him, like, yo, fam, this team is yours. Take the rock. I mean, in the first quarter, AD looks great in the first quarter. Like, it feels like they say that in the beginning of the game. Let's go to AD. You get your couple of deep seals down in the post, down in the paint. You get a couple of those touches, a couple of spins here and there. But once he goes out the first time and then comes back in, he becomes Clint Capella or some shit out there, low key for the rest of the game. No disrespect.
Wow.
No disrespect. No. Clint Capella be giving you a double, bro. A low key disrespect to AD a little bit with that Clint Capella, but Clint Capella putting up stats, fellas. Don't hate on my man Clint Capella, but AD, is there, when he comes back from injury now, fellas, do you feel like he's going to turn it around, or do you feel like it's just, I mean, I can't say a lost season because it's definitely not a lost season for him, but can he go back to bubble AD for the rest of the season?
I mean, I think look, we just finished talking about Bron having his certain role on the court. That's what Jarvis said. You know what I mean? And then there's one piece that I'm going to give him some slack because it's a lot of personalities to manage, but Vogel gotta set his guys up. And he gotta stop that. And this is where I will side with Jarvis. There has been a few games where, especially I want to say that Spurs game, where we didn't need to swap out any players late in the fourth. You got to roll with the hot hand. And that's what,
oh man,
yeah, the rotation is pretty bad right now, right? So I can't give him. I'm giving him some slack because of the roster in general. But bro, when we've been in games or winning games and you go around and just switch up the roster late in the fourth, that makes absolutely no sense. We got that. We got AD out of shape. We got Bron wanting to be Bron. And we got Russ turning the ball over. We got to fix all that. I think the only consistent players we have is Melo. Wayne Ellington is out there trying to play. I can honestly say he's out there playing his role. Malik Monk is coming into his own. He's better than what he is, but he had a setback when he came in. But yeah, no, Melo has been doing his thing. He's probably the damn near the MVP of the Lakers right now.
Melo, we gonna talk about Melo, but Jarv, can we see AD bubble again? What's happening? Wow, shaking of the head.
One, he has to show it. Like, Bubble AD was slim and slender and athletic and bouncy. This guy here who's lumbering up the floor up and down with his little, I don't know if y'all people, he usually got his little jog posture. He ain't running. He's not getting after him.
Well, he got that bulletproof vest on too.
That's what it looks like. It's like I was expecting him to come in with some lean muscle this year, be a little more explosive this year, considering he's had continuous soft tissue injuries. I'm just at this point, AD doesn't have equity with Laker Nation enough for us to just vouch for him. Even for LeBron, we vouch for Bron. We know how Bron coming. Even if some of us don't like him, we know exactly what to expect because he's earned that. I can't say that AD has earned that. All AD has earned is our eyebrows being raised because he's either always hurt or he's not scrapping. He's not going hard. Put it this way, this is his third year as a Laker, right? The last 2 seasons, he's been in street clothes just as much as he's been in a uniform when we needed him to be on the floor busting ass. He has not done it. He has to earn that respect. He has to earn the fact for us to even have high-level expectations. So he got to show me. And on top of the fact that if Russell Westbrook is not there, we ain't seeing AD how he's supposed to see him. It is what it is. Because they're going to treat him like he's Dirk. They're going to have him doing pick and pops, standing in the corner, standing by the baseline like a try to catch a little finish off a drive, not being the all-world big man that we remember. It is what it is, guys. I ain't saying nothing that's not true.
I know, man. I feel like he could turn it around, though. But to me, it's got to come from upstairs. It's like a mental turnaround for me because he's got to just really be like, yo, give me the ball. Like, he might have to take it up the court a few times and just don't pass that shit to nobody. Like, he might have to do that a few times. They got to.
You feel like
he might have to.
You feel like he could turn it around, or do you want him to turn it around? Because that's two different things.
Both. I feel like he can, I want him to. You don't think he can? Even with the pounds, I feel like he can. He got to play the 5, but it's just mental for me. Like, he's going to have to take the ball up the floor and say, I'm not passing that shit for like 3 possessions. The same way you see Russ do from time to time. Melo, when he gets that ball, he's shooting that shit when he touches it.
Well, that's what we brought him here to do. Let that shit go.
AD needs to have that too. He could do it.
AD, I think talent-wise, he can turn around and do it. Mentally, I just don't know. And he doesn't have, like Jarvis said, out here, you don't want to. They've been shipped him off. And it's more so they understand his talent. But they also, every time this man hits the floor, in my wife words, get your ass up, bro.
I know they shaking their head every time he hits the floor. Them vets on that.
We're tired of it. We're tired of none of these cats is getting back on D. Our perimeter D is trash. We got spurts of playing defense. And it seemed like every game, if we're not just outright losing, then we're giving you an anxiety. We're giving you anxiety the last 2 minutes of the game.
Laker games are a headache. And I'm not even a Laker guy.
Your point about AD hitting the floor, there's times where it just seems like he just hits the floor just because. It's like, you didn't have to do that. When you took that jump shot, you didn't have to land and slide. You could have just landed and ran down the floor. It's like, he just likes to fall. I don't understand.
Yeah, he falls a lot.
AD looking funny in the light. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm hoping AD could get us together because I don't like him taking all the heat, man. I feel like he's great enough where he can turn around. And if you were in the conversation already with Giannis, you can easily be able to get back there. And he's only 28. Man ain't 38. He's 28. Damn. So he still got some time. But let's talk about a man who is damn near 30. I said damn near 38. What is he? 37? 30? I don't know how old LeBron is right now. But he's getting a lot of MVP love right now recently for a Laker team that is playing 500 basketball right now. We got to talk about LeBron a little bit. I feel like his narrative has made a complete 180 on the season early in the year. People weren't happy about his play and his effort, but he's bounced back. He's played very well lately. He's averaging in the 30s his past 7 games. Been playing some 5. He's averaging 28, 7, and 6. He's playing 36 minutes per game, which is the most he's averaged since joining the Lakers. So that's interesting to know. And that's pretty crazy because I feel like everybody was brought here to lessen the workload for LeBron. And now he's playing the most minutes he's ever played as a Laker. Now Frank Vogel got him playing center right now for the last couple of games. And LA is having some success. I don't know if it's sustainable. You guys let me know what y'all think. Jarv, talk to me. What are you feeling about LeBron James at the 5 spot right now? You liking it? And do you feel like he's having a MVP caliber season right now for your Lakers?
He's having a top tier LeBron season. You know, by default, when LeBron is doing what he does best, he's always going to be an MVP. His numbers speak towards it. His impact on the game speak towards it. And I'm not a hater. I just call it what it is when it comes to LeBron James. But at the same time, it's very troubling because, like you just said, 36 minutes a game.
That's a lot.
Year 19, when you signed Tom, Dick, and Harry to lessen the load, you brought in Russell Westbrook to lessen the load. Kendrick Nunn is supposedly supposed to lessen the load.
Wait, is Kendrick Nunn
hurt?
He's out with a knee.
Right.
Damn.
You brought in Rondo to lessen the load, and then you shipped him off. I don't know what happened there. So it's like, it's great to see LeBron James compile these stats because at this point in his career, I look at him as an all-world compiler. He's getting all of his numbers up so that he can be in all the record conversations. It's the highest scorer, youngest to do this. We know the
youngest,
vibes.
Oldest to do everything right now.
So, but it's very concerning because at year 19, and I'm a Kobe fan, rest in peace. I always think back to that year with Mike D'Antoni.
Man.
And it's a true story. I was talking to one of my guys and I said, you know what? Oh, wildin'. Like, I love what I'm seeing, but he's going to end up killing himself on the court. That Achilles popped, and that's a kill shot at that point in your career. Did too much. You
How old was Kobe
overextended your body
at that
too much.
time? Hey, 30. Was he 37, 38?
He was 34.
Oh, he was young. Even younger. Yeah.
Popped his Achilles.
It's possible.
This guy was asking an aging superstar to do everything, be everything. And LeBron James is bigger. Gravity's not his friend. He already had that ankle injury that took forever to heal. He had that high ankle sprain last season. And that was a freak accident. We don't even know how much he came back from that. Then he already had an injury this season when he was Le PTO, chilling on the sideline, coaching the team and all of that. I'm not comfortable with LeBron being MVP LeBron because that means he's doing too much in December and January when the goal was to be playing April, May, and June. This is not okay.
Baylor, talk to me. MVP year for LeBron James you've been seeing this far. You liking what he's giving to you? Is he doing too much? Is he playing too much? Does he have to do too much this season?
I think he's doing too much in certain parts of the game where he shouldn't have to. I think he should be resting a little bit more in the second, early in the third. Well, I wouldn't say early in the third, but mid-third. Fourth quarter should be all action. You know what I mean? But I think he's playing too much early on. But honestly, I mean, I can't really complain about that because if he doesn't play like how he's playing, we probably wouldn't be in some of this game.
Because sometimes you guys are getting blown out even with them playing sometimes. For mediocre teams, by the way. I don't even have mind-boggling, but yeah, go ahead.
It's the defense, though. It's the defense. And I'm going to say this because I'm not the type to say that I can actually hear these guys critiquing each other or anything like that. But there is a certain thing called body language.
Yes.
And the leadership is just leadership just ain't there. It's not there right now. It's just not there right now. But y'all can't have it both ways though. Is it Vogel or is it Bron?
When it comes to leadership,
no. Forget the leadership. But as far as him playing too many minutes, we know that he got to play. But if he needs to take a rest, is he doing the 7 in the 7 now, or is Vogel like, yo, bro, we need you?
That's a good point.
Well, let me ask you this then. You're closer to the action than all of us, Baylor. The Lakers look like a totally different team where Fizdale had them as far as what that kind of actions were running on the floor, the flow of the game. Everything looked a little bit different with Fizz out there.
Saw some plays being called.
Bro was heavy in the pick and roll as the roller and not dominating the ball under Fizdale.
But that's because
maybe it is Vogel. Maybe it's a lot. LeBron is good for disrespecting his coach when you don't like him. You don't know.
Yeah,
Right,
I
but
mean,
he can't disrespect Fizdale because he's from the turf.
Oh.
He can't do that.
Fizdale he'll
And
listen
so-
to. I definitely see him listen to Fizdale, Phil Handy. He listens to a lot on the bench, even though they had that little spat they just had the other day. I don't know what that was about, but
Right.
he might be. He's a defensive coach, but he might be looking at Vogel. Dare I say David Blatt-ish? I mean, no disrespect or nothing to Vogel. He's a good coach, but he may be looking at him in that way. You know, like you said, clutch media sometimes if things are not going his way, he's like, listen, man, I need you to make a change. You're not making the change. Why am I playing all of these minutes? I'm sure he said it to him already. Why am I playing so much? And maybe Vogel came back as, yo, you have to. I need you to.
Yeah.
Oh, and then maybe he said, figure out a way where I don't play so many minutes. Figure it out. That's your job.
So then we go back to Jarvis' original point is we don't have the roster for Vogel. Point blank.
What? Really?
Looking at Robin.
No.
No.
I feel like he can work out with that.
I'm not agreeing with it, nor am I against it or with. I'm just saying that's something that can be talked about. Is this a roster where Vogel can coach defensively like how he wants to?
No.
Defensively, no. Yeah.
Well, that's what's hurting us the most.
But to me, when I look at defense, to me, defense is effort. To me, defense is effort, and you don't have to have a stellar defensive team like a team full of big wing defenders or something like that. But you got to show some effort on that end. Now, is the entire Lakers roster showing that effort on that end every possession? Let's be real, fellas.
Hey, but just watch this though. There's not a lot of elite defensive players in the league, not at all.
I agree with you.
There's a lot of players who play with effort and some who have technique at playing defense. I'm not saying that we don't have neither, but we definitely not playing with effort.
And to me, that is a problem because effort to me is usually should come from the fear of being benched by the coach. Sometimes I feel like that's where effort comes in. Now, are any of these players really in Jaw's face? Are any of these players fearing Frank Vogel is going to bench him or something? Because I'm bringing this up now to talk about the locker room dynamic. And Jav, I'm gonna go ahead with you. I want to discuss the locker room dynamic because I feel like on this particular team, it's interesting. The locker room dynamic here because I low-key feel like it's a issue that nobody really wants to address or talk about. And we've been seeing it all year long. We've had examples of it all year long from the beginning of the year. AD saying he got nothing to prove. Then Dwight and AD had that altercation, second game of the season against the Suns, which is crazy. Nobody's even bringing that shit up no more. Dwight getting top 75 over AD. You never know. There might be something behind the scenes with that. LeBron with the fiasco in Detroit with the little low key with the little hit on Stewart. That's some, that might be a little bent up, chemistry issue there. Russ getting a little testy with the interview.
That Detroit shit was blown out of that.
That was a frustration hit though. He didn't really have to hit something like that in the eye.
But let it.
Come on, that was frustration.
Just let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because your favorite player.
Yeah, frustration though.
As a catalog.
He does have a catalog.
Yeah, well, he's a frustrated dude.
As a catalog, bro.
Some of them shits be exaggerated, but I agree.
But we look at it as, man, it's part of the game. Is it?
He ain't bloody nobody though. Come on, he ain't bloody nobody. Son.
Oh, Jess, we not doing this.
A little low blow, yeah, a little low blow or something like that.
Jarvis.
He frustrated.
Hey, look, Jarvis on record. Jarvis literally on record the day Bron signed. He called me. I was on the freeway going to work. I remember that call. We will criticize him to the end, but I'm not giving y'all that one, bro. That
was a little cheat, though. I guess.
Wait.
A little.
Stewart didn't even want to fight.
He didn't.
He didn't. He wanted to fight. He really didn't want that smoke, though.
He went right up to Braun and then stop. Like, come on now.
Hey, y'all acting like Doug Christie didn't run around the whole arena to get to Rick Fox.
Rick Fox, right? Yeah, that's true. Did he? He really didn't swing on him. I know he did. Well, there's a lot of players who be trying to act like that run to the tunnel type shit. And nobody, Jimmy Butler stay doing that all the time. Tell somebody come to the back. Lowry.
Doug Christie tried to get Fox, though. He tried to get that.
He did. But I mean, I'm just saying that that's an example of the frustration of the Lakers. I feel like just a mental, because that's not normally him doing shit like that. Not you can give a little cheap shot every now and then, but it was a little extra umph in that cheap shot. We saw how Isaiah Stewart was boxing out and he was trying to get to the boards. And Melo on the team, he's just being Melo. He's not really getting involved in shit, don't really care too much. So to me, I feel like the locker room dynamic.
I've seen Melo try to punk players too.
Oh yeah, he's been doing that a lot this season too. He's been a little goonish this season. So that kind of spills onto the floor, I feel like, a little bit. So I'm not so sure that I'm seeing a healthy Lakers locker room right now. So, Jarv, do you think?
I think the Laker room. I think the locker room is healthy. I just don't think they holding each other accountable.
I don't know if it's healthy. I don't think it's that healthy. When players don't know their roles,
if it's healthy, then they'd be holding each other accountable.
I think we're looking at it wrong. I think they're avoiding to talk about the important stuff, as far as basketball. But I think the relationships is cool.
Well, I'll say this about the locker room. I think to an earlier point about revamping a team, this is what happens when you essentially bring in a whole new squad. Because as much as we packed up Kuzma, Caruso, KCP, to name a few, those guys were, they played together quite a few years. KCP has been a Laker since the end of the dark ages with Zoe and them. I had the ankle bracelet on. Caruso went through the whole summer league format. Kuzma as well. These guys were vested on the team. They were very comfortable there. They kind of dug out a niche playing next to LeBron, and then eventually AD. Everyone knew their role. Maybe not Kuz. Kuz always seemed a little lost. But everybody else knew what they were supposed to do. Even when you had Danny Green on that team. I like that team. Danny Green missed a lot of shots, but the team that won the championship, everyone locked into their role. When I look at this team, looks just as lost as LeBron year one. You brought in a bunch of spare parts, and you got players with talent and high-pitched skill levels. Nobody belongs anywhere. They're not being slotted in where they belong. And then you
said Danny Green did what in the postseason? Okay,
just a lot of shots.
All right,
solid defense.
Because I know what we brought him over there for. That's not exactly what he did.
Absolutely, but what I'm saying is that the roster was a lot more simplified. And there was more flow. The Lakers were entertaining. That's another thing I talk about all the time with this team. When you watch them play basketball, they're not even an entertaining watch. Everything is like mediocre to bad. And I just feel like we have too much, and it's time to. Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah. I remember when we had Lance Stevenson and we brought in Michael Beasley and these guys. It's like, yeah, they're good. They're solid pros. But is this what we need?
Michael Beasley. I seen him tweet the other day.
Let me finish. You didn't need Malik Monk and Kendrick Nunn. Like, you didn't need both of them. You know what I'm saying? That you brought in
and
Rondo.
And a THT, yeah.
THT. And he's not even that good. If anybody needs slander on this team, it's THT.
Talk to me about THT. What y'all been feeling about THT? He got paid his bread.
I never understood why this long-arm short guard has gotten so much love from everybody. He's not that good. He's not a difference maker on any level. Like, will he bust my ass in open gym? Absolutely. But as far as being an NBA player, he is not a difference maker. I'm not even sure where that bag came from besides being a Clutch affiliate. Because when he's on the floor, he does a lot of random things that leave you that leaves you scratching your head. It's like, what? Why is he here? He'll have a game where he'll give you 20, and then it'll be like 4 games of 4, 3, 7, and 6 before another random 20 spot. Like, to me, I look at his contract, he better be a trade piece, because beyond that, I just don't see it. And the thing is, you have so many guards on this roster. Then you
way too many.
You know what I mean? Where's your floor spacing 3D player? It's just Trevor Ariza. You expect that much from Ariza? The roster is disjointed. You have a coach who's never been known for offense. You have a player in LeBron who doesn't want to be a full-time point guard anymore. You have a player in AD who doesn't want to scrap. You have a player in Russell Westbrook who's they're asking him to be something that he's fundamentally not. Then the locker room spills over, and you have things like AD and Dwight beefing on the sidelines. Even my mom's at me like, yo, what's going on?
I can't believe
I'm like, I don't even know. Like, it just seems like there's no flow. And again, I guess when you put it all together, there's no chemistry. That's a word that's been thrown around a lot as far as the Lakers go. And of course, there's no chemistry. It's too many random parts that's supposed to be under the hood of a luxury vehicle. You got a Honda Civic, but we're supposed to have a Rolls Royce. There's a problem here.
Major problem. So, I mean, we talked about the locker room dynamic so much and the accountability factor. You see how all three of us are saying these kind of things to these players. Who is telling these guys these kind of things about themselves? Who? I mean, it's supposed to be. Who?
It would be Rondo because it's never been Bron.
Why not?
AD, who gonna listen to AD? Let me know. Russ, vocal leader?
Well, first of all, none of those brothers are telling Melo shit, by the way. Melo would be looking like, who are you talking to right now? I know you're not talking to me. I'm hooping.
OG Melo might be the one, but he might not be tapped in because, again, we talked about body language. See, the Christmas game in particular was very telling because there was a few moments where Westbrook did things on the floor and I saw things from Melo I never even saw even in college, but the bad body language.
He looked a little frustrated. Yes.
LeBron James and Russell Westbrook missed that left-handed dunk, standing in the corner with his hands up instead of getting back on defense. Guys are starting to wear thin on each other. There's a problem in LA.
How many games how they play now? What are they? 19 and 19 right now? So what? 38 games? Almost 40 games. 41. Wow, almost 40 games. That's damn near almost half of the season. I said a quarter of the way. We damn near at the halfway point right now. And I see Melo from time to time. I see him damn near doing jumping jacks at the 3-point line, calling for the rock. Now that to me, Melo's a vet. Melo gets the rock when he asks for the ball, right? That's people respect him and say, Melo's coming down, Melo need a touch. Let me go get Melo a touch a little bit. I don't see that from the Lakers players. I see LeBron do it from time to time. I went on Twitter and I said, the only dude that I see have some real chemistry with Melo is LeBron. Like I see LeBron actively look for Melo on the break or whatever the case may be, but still not enough for him to not get frustrated. You don't see him get frustrated?
No, I see him getting frustrated, but it's not every game. That's what I'm saying. Y'all take a couple of games and y'all run.
I be seeing it. I see him clapping.
I see it.
There he is.
No.
Wait, you don't see Melo clapping, Baylor? You don't see him clapping?
The cool part about I see everything. That's the cool part about it. Like I get it. I get it. But I'm not helping.
If you see everything, how you disagree?
How you don't see that?
Because y'all acting like it's every game. That's the only thing
that's not what we doing.
That's the only thing that I'm frustrated with. Is like, is every game? It's not.
If we wanted to say it was every game, we say that. What we're saying is it's increasing. The levels of frustration. You can deny it if you want, Bill. That's your guy. I went to the guy. You put the tuxedo on, right?
I'm just pointing out the facts, bro. Like
they getting sick of his shit, and you got to deal with it.
Hey. Just what I'm gonna say, if my guys win, I need to knock at my door, bro. I need y'all to knock at my door.
You know what I love?
Don't even ring the doorbell. I need you to knock on it.
You know what I love about you, Baylor? That this is get real defensive, right? When it's real dark outside. And then when the sun comes out, you come back around. I'm gonna let you get.
I don't know why Baylor acting like he's not gonna talk his shit if y'all don't start winning. I know you're not. Why you acting like you're not gonna talk shit?
I didn't even talk my. The only reason why I talk my shit in the boat is because the Dodgers won that same year. I got to get my shit off.
But it's alright. It's alright to talk your shit though. That's life.
Leave me on red right now. I know.
Hey, just I don't get no text messages. I don't get no DMs. When the Lakers win, I don't get none of that. But when they lose, the timeline is on fire. And guess what? My counterpartners, you know what I'm saying? Jarvis and Manny Brown, they on the other side with the ops. What y'all doing?
Manny be getting tight, yo. I'm not gonna lie.
Manny be with the ops.
No, Jar.
Manny be
I've been
tight.
quiet all season, bro.
Jar, you only on my side if CL say something because he's a Spurs fan. Let's be real with it.
CL be running the same
politician
for like 5 years now. It's annoying. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, I've been singing the rafters with the Lakers. I stay out the way because I'm waiting.
You've had courtside seats some nights, my brother.
And what I say, trade him. I'm on the same time I've been on. He shouldn't be here.
So what happens if they don't trade him, but y'all get pretty far in the playoffs?
What you gonna do, Joe?
You gotta take it back. Run it back.
I'm gonna watch till we get bumped in the first round again.
Oh my God.
Might get bumped in the playoffs.
You know what? While I have you fellas here, give me, other than the Warriors, because I know both of you two are Warriors lovers, so I'm not even gonna say that. Other than the Warriors, what teams are y'all worried about in a playoff matchup with the Lakers?
Suns.
Memphis.
Okay, the Suns. I mean, I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Memphis.
Memphis. is what I went on Twitter. I got a little bit of heat for that, but I said low key, man. I felt a little disrespectful, but I feel like the Memphis will really give y'all boys a run for money in the series, man.
All right, look.
I don't like the matchup.
Let me just break this down. I'm dog scared of the Warriors. That's a fact. I'm worried about them. Yes, because
I think y'all giving them a lot of credit, but go ahead.
I mean, they got the MVP right now, don't they?
KD's an MVP in my eyes right now.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool, but he ain't in the West. But in the West,
I mean, he up there, 1A, 1B. I mean, you already know I'm going with this. What?
Yes, we're not going to do this because
leading the assists and steals. Come on, we're not going. This is a Laker episode, man.
So you winning the MVP, averaging 14 points and 9 assists?
Yes, Steve Nash won it, 15 and 11. What you mean?
Without we all know that was robbery. And I think Nash was averaging around 18 and 19.
I mean, but they had the number one record, though. If the Suns have the number one record, if the Warriors got the number one record, give it to Steph. I'm all about winning. Yeah.
CP3 going to the Hall of Fame, first ballot. Matter of fact, he's not even going to be on the first ballot. He's going to be on the ballot that they making for the first ballot.
My son needs
okay? But guess what? He's not that guy.
What?
He's not that guy, and he'll never be that guy.
God, Baylor, stop.
He'll never be that guy.
Yo, I thought this was a Laker episode.
But you want me to
we about to go 3 hours. You know we about to go 3 hours right now.
You want to give him the partition.
Why you hating on my son? You can't give my son some love.
Look,
can't give it just kills you. It just kills you to give my son some love.
No, it's not. No. Just, there's a tier. There's a tier with MJ, Kobe, and Bron. And then there's a tier with Steve Nash, CP3, John Stockton. That's the tier he's on. That's not a bad tier to be on.
I mean, he's over both of those players. Over both. He's better than both.
There's cats that's, including myself, that still got John Stockton over.
You lying to yourself. You lying.
Why? Why would I be lying? Why?
John Stockton was nowhere near the defender as CP. He was not the scorer CP is. He was not you can't say he's a passer. And they're both different kind of passers. But
the cast that's in this tier, CP3 is not like them. So just like Stockton is not like Chris
But he's
Paul,
a better scorer than any of
like
those point guards. Other than Steph Curry, he's a better scorer than any of those other point guards. Other than Steph Curry, maybe D-Rose.
So we're back to the MVP then. That's why I'm worried about Golden State.
I give Steph his love, though. I give Steph his love. I'm giving him his love. I say it's both of them up there.
You've come around this season.
I'm coming around. Yeah.
Just this season.
Just this season, I came around showing him love?
Come around.
We're showing him love?
Yeah, you was empty.
Because you can't deny it.
Well, I always been showing him love, but it had to be deep rooted. It had to be dug in there. It's direct opposition. Y'all talked about the ops. I can't give love to the ops. I can't give too much love to the ops. I'm trying to win. My son needs the jewelry. My son needs the jewelry, son.
And you know what?
He need it.
If y'all was to win, give him Finals MVP.
My son just needs the jewelry. I need the ammo.
But that light-skinned boy getting him out of here again, bro.
I don't know. That's gonna be a battle. That's gonna be a battle.
Hey,
it's gonna be a battle.
I'm gonna tell you, I'm afraid of the Suns too for the reason that we talked about earlier.
Right now, as a Laker fan,
that should be a battle. I think the Suns just got the Lakers number, honestly.
Although,
no, wait, hold up, no, chill out.
You don't think so?
Hey, y'all beat us because we was in an emergency room, bro. Don't play with us.
Stop. Wait, the Suns didn't have no injuries?
Wait. Watch this.
Come on.
Did CP3 get injured as a Rocket?
In what? In the playoffs? Yeah.
Against Golden State?
Yeah.
Did it matter?
Yes, it mattered.
But it don't matter when AD go down.
It did matter.
Nah. I'm good, bro.
But wait, hold on. Well, hold
on.
on. That's not actually the same because the Suns also had injured players also in that series. Chris Paul had that pinched nerve in the shoulder. That was nothing. Games 2 and 3, it was a shell. It was a shell.
My son couldn't shoot. Bron's career after.
For the sake of argument, Lakers was up 2-1 when AD got hurt. We was up like 14 in game 4. I'm just saying that happened. That's all I'm gonna say.
Indeed, but game 2, that was not real Chris Paul. I don't know. That was a shell of himself. That was Cameron paying more than Chris Paul. So that was the one y'all got.
He's allowed to have a bad game, though. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the injury itself. What has Chris Paul been known for his majority of his career besides assists?
What are you trying to say right now? Getting hurt? Yeah,
Injuries.
right. Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Injury.
Wait, hold on. I don't know why we haven't got to Chris Paul. We need to wrap up with these Lakers right now. We need to do another episode because we could go CP and Steph.
You thought a 14-5-9 player was gonna win MVP this year.
14-5-9 is 14-10, leading the league in assists and steals. Don't make me go down a rap sheet. Come on, man. Okay. You want to talk about year 19? We could talk about year 17 still doing this. Come on now. Come on.
He's solid.
Come on.
He a Hall of Famer.
I'm bringing young pups to the finals. Come on. Come on, son.
Young pups look a little funny on Christmas.
They did. Yeah. Well, that's how the streets know they were young pups. That's how the streets know they were young pups. Look what my son is carrying up there.
Just throwing his body in front of them sons.
Come on. I know. I just got faith in my son.
They got final experience. Are they still young?
Yeah, they're still young, but yes, they have signed. I never used a young excuse for them, though. I still feel like they should have won. I don't use no young excuse. I don't care. If you're playing in that game, you're supposed to win if you should win. So I don't, me personally, I don't use the young excuse. But neither here nor there.
Hey, I think Suns is definitely a strong team. Besides the Warriors, that would be a great matchup. I would love to see that.
I would love to see that in the conference finals.
In the West, in my opinion.
But outside of those three teams, like I think Golden State is going to give us major problems. I would be worried about the Suns, and it'd be difficult to sleep at night knowing that we're going to play Memphis.
Yeah. So no love for the Jazz. You think that's a win?
No, because no disrespect, no disrespect to the Suns, but the Suns, Utah, and Denver, they all been in that same category for the past couple of years. Like they're a good regular season team. When they get to the postseason, I'm not too concerned about it.
It's good, but it's not enough.
But the Suns showed with injuries that they can get to the finals.
I'm gonna let y'all. I mean, you're wrong, but I'm gonna let you guys have it. I mean, it's cool. You're wrong, but I'll let you have it.
I was wrong too. I was wrong too when I thought the Rockets could beat Golden State.
I mean, they could if my son didn't get hurt. My son is always a common denominator. Always.
Yeah.
Always.
I get it.
I mean, there's no coincidence, but we gonna break through. We gonna break through.
Hey, we don't get no common denominator over here in Laker land. I see. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, y'all got the stacked team though. Damn. Give my boy LeBron. Give my boy AD on there. Give him Melo. Come on. Don't
Everybody
give him that.
on our squad has AARP, bro. We all just said that at the beginning of the year.
So fellas, Rondo now moved. We seen the GM at work already. One trade down, maybe a couple more to go. Who knows? Rondo's now moved, went to the Cavs. I guess it's to open up a free roster spot. Stanley Johnson, they looking at probably want to maybe sign him for the rest of the season. He has looked nice this season. I must say, a lot of energy that you guys need. Jarvis, so talk to me. Any moves by the deadline that you feel like the Lakers should make, or that they need to make, or that you would like them to make? In order to turn this thing around, because it's definitely not a lost season, man. So any moves that you feel like they should make, turn this thing around?
Besides the obvious, I think with so much excess, I saw some rumors about a Jeremy Grant. If that's real, if that's sustainable,
it'll be hard.
That's attainable. I would love to have him on the team. I think he's perfect for what the Lakers need as far as length and scoring ability and motor. Like he's a high motor guy. I'm a Syracuse Orange basketball fan. I watched him play since college days. He's earned everything he's gotten as a pro, going back to his days as college because of his motor, because of his work ethic. And I think that's the kind of young guy we need. Stanley Johnson, you mentioned him. I know they're trying to figure out a way to keep him around. I think Stanley, from what I've seen through a few games, his active hands, his defensive capabilities, he is a Frank Vogel player. And as far as body goes, he's way bigger than I remember. Like
he's a 6'6" point guard.
Jesus Christ.
He's 6'6". I feel like he's bigger than that.
He looks about 6'8" right now on the floor. He's grown since he got into the league. But the thing is, he's physical. He's not afraid to put his nose in there. The shot could be better. But as far as motor, if I'm the Lakers, I'm looking for skill and high motor guys. The Lakers have everything but motors on that team. And I feel like that's what's needed again. As much as I kill KCP, I miss him, bro. Because there was a lot of times when we would get on a defensive run, KCP is running that floor, getting that tomahawk dunk, and getting the momentum swing. We saw the same thing with Alex Caruso. He was a guy who would run the floor, dive on the floor, make plays, do the scrappy things to make things happen. These things are missing. Even ironically, in a little bit of a way, we're missing Schroeder because Schroeder was scrappy too. But Schroeder failed in the biggest moment of his career as a Laker in the playoffs. Where AD went down and you put up a donut, there's no way you could come back to being a Laker. But as far as scrappiness,
damn,
yeah,
donut is unacceptable. I didn't know he had a donut. The donut is unacceptable. Yeah.
We got a lot of shiny suit bad boy on the Lakers right now. We need some Wu-Tang members. We need some Yonkers, D-Block, DMX members. We don't got none of that. Everybody in a shiny suit right now, and it's not enough.
I hear you on that. BTG, any moves that you feel like your boys need to make or they should make by the deadline?
I agree. 1,000%. We need that. We need that gritty grind. We need some 3D guys. I mean, that's what we had cats over there a couple of years ago for, and it didn't really pan out the way we wanted it to. I mean, we got a championship out of it, but you see the stress that we went through because of it. Jeremy Grant, top of the list. I even heard, we heard Ben Simmons' name, and obviously we bringing him over there just for setting up the play and defense because we know he's not going to shoot the rock.
Yeah, that's a big piece,
which doesn't really help us at his price tag.
It doesn't. It doesn't at all. But I am a guy that wanted Ben Simmons over you know who, and I wanted. I was cool. I was cool with Zoe. Because he's a hometown kid. Yeah. But you can't. Jason Tatum. Come on now.
What about?
What I mean?
What about a name?
I heard something about Brandon Ingram potentially being an option if he wants out of New Orleans, and
he can come back.
Y'all be going for the big fish. See, maybe that's the problem right there.
No. Just
a big
that's never the problem. That's never the problem because we're tied with the most championships, bro. You gotta understand
y'all
that.
Be asking for all-star level players in the
all right, but just answer this though.
Y'all crazy.
Sit up here every year, and y'all sit in the thread every year and talk about y'all need to develop players. Ain't none of y'all niggas got championships.
Yeah, but still though, you still gotta bet. But you see, your method is not working though. It was a bubble title though.
No.
It's a little bit different now.
CL and the Bulls fans praise. Get your players in shape and coach them up. And guess what? Where the Spurs at right now?
Oh, they're bottom feeder.
And Chicago's at the top of the East, but y'all just said.
What about a low mileage type player, like a guy like a Robert Covington? What about a guy like that?
Useful. If the motor's dead and he wants to scrap, pull up.
I like
you saying it like he coming for crumbs. You got to trade. You said pull up like if you want, but you rather a Ben Simmons, like Ingram.
Is he not a crumb?
Who? Covington.
Rocco's a crumb.
I think Jeremy Grant is the perfect fit.
I thought I was disrespectful. You just as disrespectful. I'm just saying, man. You guys asking for Ingram. Damn. I mean, I'm trying to look for some low mileage type pieces. I'm shooting too low.
Hey, you got Russell Westbrook. You got to swing for the fences.
Yeah, I'm shooting too low, man. Damn. I need to aim higher.
When have we ever developed our players?
THT.
Ever.
Me? What you mean?
THT.
No hang time. No hang time. THT.
And honestly, he was thrown in a fire.
Reeves
thrown in a fire.
Caruso gave up on him. You see, I was hating on Caruso in the beginning. And I came around. Caruso was
That's the only.
Caruso was expensive. That's all.
Yeah,
that's the only player. That's the only player besides Stanley that developed in South Bay.
I feel like they could have gave Caruso THT's money, man. Come on now.
That's a fact.
Come on.
That's a fact. I would have definitely gave up THT for Caruso.
Yeah.
It just didn't pan out like that.
It goes back to clutch. One player is signed a clutch. One player is not. Even if you wear 6 and wear a headband, Caruso.
Yeah. So you know what?
You signed the Clutch Mafia, you're not locked in.
Yeah. So now I need to go Google players in Clutch Mafia right now because those are the players that are on their way. They're on their way. Anybody in Clutch Mafia. So
history shows that if you're affiliated with Clutch, there's always a chance.
Well, Montrez, man, they shipped them up out of here, and KCP.
That was another bad move. Honestly, if I'm the Lakers, I would have just got rid of a couple of pieces hit spacers and ran majority of last year's team right back.
Y'all gave up on Montrez, man. I don't know why. That was Vogel's fault. I didn't like that. Trez could give you some minutes.
I did. I mean, I didn't really care for him like that.
He could have played in that Sun series. What you mean? Against Saric? Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Would it have made a difference? I don't know.
I think so.
Once Phoenix started packing the paint, it didn't matter.
Schroeder gave us a donut, bro.
I mean, he was playing against the Med Tour, though. He was a little shook in the bones.
Bro, he played so bad, Magic got a tweet about him before the series was over, bro.
Hey, Just, he's not that guy.
He was shaking in the bones.
He's not that guy. Hey, he gonna be that guy in the Hall of Fame.
Schroeder started playing like he was with the Hawks again in Game 5. That was Hawk Schroeder right there.
Yeah.
That sound like mafia money to me.
Yeah.
Sound like mafia money.
I don't know what's going on there, but we gotta get on out of here, fellas, man. I appreciate you. This episode, we went way longer than we should have, but that means we had too much shit to talk about, and that means we need to do more. That means this is a TBD, to be continued.
We need a sequel, Just.
Yes, 100%. Like I said, welcome back, fellas. Welcome back. So we gonna see a lot
Fresh
more.
Out the federal, we above the rim.
State property, come on. So fellas, Jarvis.
Just ain't your boy Melo?
Oh yeah, he going crazy right now, Melo. He a little tight too.
If we win, tell him he don't buy a jersey.
Do he already have one? Oh no, I don't know.
Shut that down. Shut that down.
He can't rep the gang, Remo.
No, watch the parade from the TV.
We gonna see. I gotta bring him back on here with y'all too, because he definitely got fire for Russ actually. So, that's a little hot on that seat. But fellas, I appreciate y'all as always. Of course, y'all gonna be back on again soon. Gotta definitely talk more about your Lakers. I gotta chop this up and see what we talked about and expand on it a little more on the points. But because we got some good stuff, man. I'm hopeful the Lakers are gonna turn around and we gonna see, fellas, because the season's not lost, man. I know y'all look a little down right now, but the season ain't lost. I feel like y'all fellas can pull it around, but we'll see, man.
I'm not down. I'm on a Daniel fast. I'm just hungry, bro.
I hear that.
Same.
I hear that. So family, that's episode 170, first episode of the new year, and we out.